Howdy ho, Maplers. It's been a short while since we've seen this character. This is gonna be maybe the final Meso farming update for my zero. I don't know. The only other thing that I could change with this is getting a vac pet, but for all intents and purposes, the gear is completely done. I am fully one-shotting now in upper path without having to use the tag system. Don't need to use the special node. We made it. But figured I'd do this again. Show off everything I got. Same ring. We finally got our reinforced ring. Holy moly. It was a task and a half to get this thing. But it was worth it. Maybe. I mean, it seems that item drop rate on equips is capped at 200% from extensive testing for multiple people. But until Nexon comes out and directly says equipment drop rate is capped at 200%, like they said with Meso obtain is capped at 100%, I'm just gonna leave it because you never know. There might be some non-KMS content that's still affected by drop rate over the 200% cap, and it'd still be handy to have. Otherwise, if they do say the cap is locked at 200% from equips, then I'll just repurpose my 2 superior pendants and my superior earrings back into 250 gear, which means I'll get more drops while doing them, and I won't lose effective drop rate on this character, since as it is now I am 60% over the quote-unquote cap. Now really the only major changes for Zero is getting my reinforced ring. 21 stars, this is a bit stronger than the rest of the stuff. Has its 2-line drop rates, has another 4% strength line on the B-pot. Super handy. As well, I upgraded from Absolab to an arcane weapon for the base stats, but I left it as the Absolab set effect so that I would still keep those bonuses, because 20 attack and 30 boss is really, really nice when you're doing dojo. Definitely don't want to lose that. Also, it's a handy little trick that you can use to just maintain the set effect while still using an arcane weapon. Super duper handy. And I decided to move over my 22 star belt that was originally 250 gear. My reasoning is, at this point, all of my 250s are strong enough to kill up to Arcana, and since Asphera's in the super awkward spot for most classes where unless they can clear it really fast and well without Lucid Summon, I don't really bother because I'm usually well below 900 Arcane Force on 250s, so not really an option. And the bonus base stats on this definitely helped get me towards fully one-shotting. The only other real change is the Ho Young Link, the Bravado for the extra 14% or 14% damage on monsters with 100% HP. This thing is actually huge. Not gonna joke. With this thing off, I'm not one-shotting just barely. So it's super handy. It pushed me over the edge. Very, very nice to have. Those are also all the links I use for Meso farming, in case anyone was interested. As it sits now, my consistent rates are between 380 and 420 mil per hour raw mesos. It's a bit low for anyone who has a zero farmer because I really don't enjoy meso farming all that much. It's more of a necessity for my account than it is something I enjoy doing. So I'm really bad at it. Like, I got my controller set up for zero meso farming. So at this point, because it's getting colder out here, I'm just wrapped in a blanket as far away from my screen as possible, just playing with the controller. And as with meso farming compared to regular farming, I'm a lot more okay with just getting up in the middle of meso farming and just walking away from Maple for a while in the middle of buffs, because it doesn't feel like I'm wasting as much. So my rates aren't ideal. I think from what people have said, like, the peak rates for a zero are close to 500 mil. Some people have said 550 mil, but to me that sounds like really suspicious botter tier numbers. Or they're just like super fudging their battle analysis, waiting for the first loot cycle at the very start of their battle analysis. But that's so far what I've heard for the upper tier. Also, I'm not completely maxed out on Meso. You could still do Monster Life for an additional 11%, but to me, that's way too much tedium. It's such an outdated piece of shit system. I'm not gonna bother with it. I'm not. Like, even once I'm 10k Legion, I don't see myself bothering with it. It's so dumb. I expect it to get removed before I even find a main to bother with it at this point. Either it's gonna get massively updated or it's just gonna get cut because it hasn't been touched in over 5 years. It's an old piece of crap. So that's a small increase I could still get. I could also reroll this for a 20% line, but as it sits right now, 2% isn't make or break for me. And my thinking is I'll wait until I'm at 10 mil Honor EXP, and then with a 50% off event, I'll try to reroll for both these lines. But again, getting 14% on the second line a second time is gonna be really rough. So I'm not really looking forward to it. For future content for the Zero, the Zero class is coming to GMS Reboot here pretty soon. Like, pretty soon. And, thanks to my wonderful spending habits on the Magic Wagon, I have a bunch of these Wild Totem coupons. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna go through and test a bunch of maps with the Wild Totems. I'm gonna take down the kills per hour. I'll do like 10-minute battle analysis with the medal quest open to track the kills, and then just test maps, see which ones are the best with Wild Totem, and make a video showing off the rotations for the best ones in each area. I'm thinking I'm going to start in Lachlan and go up through the Arcana maps, because as well, by the time Zero gets released for Reboot, a lot of maps are getting rebalanced, which is going to be super duper handy. It'll make some of the lower tier maps pretty darn good, and a lot of the maps Zero wants to farm on are those maps. You want really flat maps, and really flat maps are a dime a dozen for good ones at the moment. But those will come out pretty soon. Look forward to those. Hopefully those will be helpful to Reboot players. This channel doesn't have tons of Reboot content because it's all about Bara, but hopefully, since I'm in a position where I have a Zero who's effectively set up to be a Meso farmer, and a lot of people are looking forward to Zero's release as both a farmer and as a main for Reboot, I'd like to have a couple little videos out showing off rotations, showing off good maps to train in, what to do, get you through those levels super fast, or heck, even make a new Meso farmer. I doubt it'll be better than Kana, but hey, you guys have been playing Kana for almost 4 years now. Some of you gotta be tired with it. Maybe you'll like Zero better. But that's been this little update on the Zero Meso farmer. Hopefully it's been helpful. Hopefully. I'll see you guys next time.